Love being able to talk to more and more people about what this week means, what today specifically will mean. And we're joined by Charisse Bremond, President and CEO of Brotherhood Crusade. And Ms. Bremond, first off, I would like to say thank you for joining us. But did you get to see the memorial today? And what were your emotions and thoughts after having had a chance to see it?
I saw the majority of the services, and the powerful moment was standing for 8 minutes and 46 seconds in honor of George Floyd, who lost his life, murdered. I think the pain and anguish of a country is lifted up. As an African-American woman, my father founded Brotherhood Crusade 51 years ago. Danny J. Bakewell Sr. led this institution for 35 years. It is a story that we know and feel too often.
Charisse, how do you feel about the thousands of protesters out on the streets? I mean, it's been several days now, and it's not just here in Los Angeles, but across the country and beyond, internationally. How does that make you feel?
I think, for me, God has revealed this in a way that we cannot ignore it. Protesters around the country, locally, internationally, it is a voice of anger, of frustration, that Black Lives Matter in every aspect of who we are. The decades of institutional racism in this country, the decades of police brutality, the decades of African American being at the bottom of every indicator. In this city, we are 8% of the population, 33% of homelessness on these streets. We are COVID-19, the highest impact around this country, from unemployment to job furloughs to African American women who have been hit hardest by the pandemic. We are a race that has been just criminalized for who we are as a race.
Reverend Sharpton said during the ceremony today, this is the time, this is the place. What would you like to see most importantly change? I mean, you've been working in this field for your whole life. What is going to make this moment the time to make meaningful change, and what would you like to see happen?
I think it really starts with the city of LA. We've been working to really allow the mayor to move money from law enforcement. Our group of coalition from Community Coalition, SEIU 215, SEU 99, Lane, Inner City Struggle, a group of leaders, Advancement Project, are pushing the mayor to move $250 million from law enforcement budget to move that to programming, to youth development, bringing healing centers in our city, to develop a human rights commission that will protect our community, to have the power to fire bad police officers. We know that in our community in South Los Angeles, the inequities of decades, the investment has to happen now. We have to have a plan. We know that there are care funds coming into our city. That investment, we know, should be in African-American communities, as well as people of color that have been discriminated for decades.
How do you change the mindset, however, of people who don't understand?
If you read the data, if you are informed, I think the data tells the story of who we are. There is a humanitarian crisis for African Americans, not only in this city, not only in this state, but across the country. You cannot be at the bottom of every indicator, from unemployment to health, from high blood pressure to diabetes to housing. You as a race, as a people, anyone who understands data, anyone who understands where we are as a country, then the investments has to start with all of the folks who have the power to do this. It's not just government, it's corporate America. It's foundation. It is our community to invest in the folks who have been underinvested for decades. Institutional racism didn't just happen today. George Floyd's death didn't just happen. The thousands of African Americans who have lost their lives to the hands of police, not only in this city, around the country, didn't just happen under George Floyd. We have an awakening because of George Floyd, because of the 8 minutes and 64 seconds that we had to witness this man in pain call for his mom, who has not even been on this earth. There is a pain and anguish that we are all feeling of what we have known. We have been in this community for 51 years.
Charisse Bremond, thank you so much for giving us your perspective and for taking some time to speak with us today. It means a lot, and thank you for the information as well.
Thank you for the work you're doing. Thank you.